Good afternoon, and welcome to Pakistan Today News from our London studio. I'm Chris Taylor. President Asif Ali Zardari has given his assent to three major constitutional amendment bills: the Pakistan Army Amendment Bill 2025, the Pakistan Air Force Amendment Bill 2025, and the Pakistan Navy Amendment Bill 2025, formally making them part of the Constitution. The legislation resets the tenure of General Asim Munir following his appointment as Chief of the Defense Forces, with his new term beginning at the time of official notification. It also shifts the title Chief of the Army Staff to Chief of the Defense Forces, further aligning the structure with changes introduced earlier under the 27th Constitutional Amendment. That amendment had already reshaped the national power framework and established the Federal Constitutional Court. In Lahore, Justice Shams Mahmood Mirza has resigned from his position at the Lahore High Court, saying the recently passed 27th Amendment means he can no longer serve in good conscience. His resignation marks the first High Court departure linked to the new reforms, which have already triggered exits from senior Supreme Court judges and sparked debate over the future of judicial independence. The amendment grants the Judicial Commission of Pakistan sweeping authority over the transfer of High Court judges without their consent, a move critics call a direct challenge to institutional autonomy. For more on the reaction from Lahore's legal community, we're joined by our correspondent Drake Rowland, reporting from outside the Lahore High Court.
Chris, the resignation of Justice Shams Mahmood Mirza has sent shockwaves through legal circles here in Lahore. Lawyers I've spoken to say the 27th Amendment has created an atmosphere of uncertainty, with many concerned about the increased influence of the Judicial Commission over judicial transfers. Some argue the amendment undermines long-standing norms of judicial independence, while others believe it may streamline administrative procedures. For now, legal observers are watching closely to see whether more judges follow Justice Mirza's lead in the coming days. Back to you.
Thank you, Drake. Pakistan's Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi has visited Cadet College Wana, the site of a recent failed terrorist attack. He praised the Army and Frontier Corps for executing a swift rescue operation that ensured the safety of all students and staff. Naqvi said none of the attackers were Pakistani nationals and accused elements across the border of orchestrating the assault. He also stated that while Pakistan's economic and diplomatic direction is improving, cross-border terrorism remains a major national challenge. In Islamabad, law enforcement agencies have arrested both the facilitator and handler connected to the recent suicide bombing at the Islamabad Judicial Complex. Officials say the facilitator was detained in Rawalpindi's Doke Paracha area after spending nearly a month conducting reconnaissance. The handler was apprehended in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Authorities report that both suspects visited the complex multiple times with the bomber prior to the attack. All detainees have been moved to undisclosed locations as investigations continue. Turning to diplomacy, Jordan's King Abdullah II has arrived in Pakistan for a two-day state visit at the invitation of Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. The king is scheduled to hold high-level meetings with President Asif Ali Zardari and the Prime Minister to discuss political, economic, and cultural cooperation. A ceremony at Aiwan-e-Sadr will see Pakistan award King Abdullah its highest civilian honor, underscoring what officials describe as the long-standing fraternal relations between the two nations. Weekly inflation in Pakistan has risen again, with the sensitive price indicator increasing by 0.53%, reaching 335.31 points from 333.55. Significant price hikes were seen in chicken, which surged by just over 20%, and tomatoes, which rose more than 12%. However, some items offered relief. Onion prices fell by nearly 7%, and pulse gram dropped by around 2.6%. Analysts warn that volatility in perishable goods continues to drive weekly fluctuations, and internationally, a massive explosion has ripped through the Spegazzini Industrial Park in Ezeiza, just south of Buenos Aires, Argentina. The blast triggered a huge fire that has engulfed several factories, including chemical and plastics facilities. At least 22 people have been injured and hospitalized. 15 fire crews have been deployed, and authorities warn the blaze is highly complex and expected to burn for an extended period. That's all for now. You're watching Pakistan Today News. I'm Chris Taylor.